It's remarkable longevity that Steven Hillenburg's patty-flipping sea sponge has had. Since he first appeared on television screens in 1999, he has starred in several episodes, plus a Broadway musical, and now 6 feature films. Admittedly, I found those movies, whether intended for theaters or released straight to Netflix, be a mixed bag. They tend to have stories that might be better suited to a regular television episode than stretched out to feature length, although they're mostly harmless. The only SpongeBob SquarePants movie to get on my nerves through the entire runtime is the Sandy Cheeks movie Saving Bikini Bottom. So now we have the newest theatrical film, the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. This was directed by Derek Dryman, who was one of the people pivotal to the early success of the character. He first worked with Hillenburg on Rocko's Modern Life, and then on SpongeBob SquarePants he served as the creative director and wrote several episodes during the first 3 seasons, as well as co-writing the lyrics to the theme song. So he's a fitting choice to direct a SpongeBob movie. But what did I think of Search for SquarePants? Like most of the other SpongeBob movies, I found myself being rather mixed on it. While there are a few sporadic laughs here and there were not enough to completely win me over. For the most part, it's a pretty standard SpongeBob adventure of him going on this journey with Patrick where they meet all kinds of underwater creatures. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Gary are saddled with the B-plot where they try to save SpongeBob from a dastardly plan put together by the Flying Dutchman. As for the other main characters from the show, Sandy is there for about 30 seconds, and Plankton shows up and says one line. To be fair, very little of the movie is set in Bikini Bottom, so the lack of roles for the secondary characters does make sense. However, a lot of the jokes are centered on how stupid SpongeBob and Patrick are, with an emphasis on their behinds, and Mr. Krabs being a bit of a scaredy cat. Although I do like how much the film touches on the genuine concern Krabs has for his loyal fry cook. And it is kind of amusing seeing the Dutchman's stunned reaction to Patrick's stupidity in particular. There is a portion of the movie where he goes insane with the imagery and the jokes, and I wish the rest of it had this level of energy. It even breaks the fourth wall in a crazy way, and unless I'm overthinking it, there's a joke that sounded almost like a jab at the Sandy Cheeks movie. A few other jokes made me chuckle, but for the most part there were stretches where I kept waiting for something funny to happen. The Flying Dutchman is played by Mark Hamill, who's basically doing his Joker voice, and he does okay. He just becomes an underwhelming villain, even though the character's been used to good effect in a few of the television episodes. I'm not sure the story necessitated an entire movie, as it would have been just fine as a 22-minute episode, although I feel that way about the previous SpongeBob movies too. And if it was going to be a movie, very little about it screams theatrical, as opposed to something that could have gone to streaming. In fact, it was originally developed as a streaming movie about Mr. Krabs going up against the Flying Dutchman before being refashioned for theaters. The main thing Search for SquarePants has over, say, the Plankton movie is the animation is slightly better. Derek Dryman is all too familiar with the characters, and much like the previous computer-animated SpongeBob movies have done, the animators translate their traits well to CGI. Dryman recently co-directed Hotel Transylvania 4 Transformania, and he brings some of the squash and stretch the characters displayed on that movie into this one. But overall, I did find this became an overly outstretched episode, and even the theme of SpongeBob trying to prove he's braver and slightly more mature than others assume was already done in the first movie. I actually found the most enjoyable part of seeing Search for SquarePants was the short attached to it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Chrome Alone 2 Lost in New Jersey brings back the Turtles from Mutant Mayhem and packs so much cleverness in its 7 minutes. At first, it just seems like a standard funny little short of the Turtles trying to find a Christmas present for Splinter. However, instead turns out to be a very biting satire on generative AI. It does not hold back in mocking the technology and how it just takes things that already exist and spits them out in something without any sort of creativity or charm. In addition to the anti-AI commentary, the other jokes provide plenty of winning humor, and the chemistry the Turtles exhibited in Mutant Mayhem continues here. It also works as a fun Ninja Turtles adventure with their usual fighting skills and smarts put to good use. But as for the main feature that followed, I just found there was nothing about this particular SpongeBob SquarePants movie that made it stand out, and after 6 of these, I even wonder if this is a character that works best in small doses, although I recognize a lot of people love the first SpongeBob movie more than I do. Still, it's harmless enough, and a few creative moments did manage to peek through, just not enough for me.